It is a Tuesday night. Coming off the off day, the Houston Astros continue this homestand. They went 2-2 against the Boston Red Sox. Now they will play 2 against the Seattle Mariners before going on their longest road trip to date as they get ready for the first place Seattle Mariners. The Astros losing the last 2 against the Red Sox, 37-24. Seattle, same number of wins, 2 fewer losses. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another night of Astros baseball. Glad to be back. It's been a little while. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Blummer, we were talking about that gauntlet with the Indians, with the Yankees, with the Red Sox. We maybe could have added the Mariners to that list.
Absolutely. We talked about it earlier in the season that the American League West is going to be extremely tough. This is proof of it.
The standings look pretty close right now, but if you take a look at the difference in runs scored, it probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the numbers we look at is run differential. It gives you an idea of how good pitching is, how good the offense is. But these guys right here, the Mariners are doing very good. They are winning close games. That is why they are in first place. The Astros are not doing a very good job in those tight one-run games, whereas the Mariners are. But it's obvious that the Astros have enough firepower and pitching to earn themselves a spot at the top of the American League West.
Last year, the Astros got out in that first week and never looked back. This year, a little different. The month of May for the Houston Astros and the Seattle Mariners, a little bit different, especially in our Shiner Box Spotlight when you take a look at the teams they played.
Yeah, it has been a little bit different. The strength of schedule is an issue. We talked about the gauntlet going through Cleveland, New York, Boston. That was a heck of a road trip. The Seattle Mariners have yet to see that yet. The opponents they've been playing against have that .469 winning percentage, second easiest in all of baseball. They're about to go through that supposed gauntlet, and it starts right here with the Houston Astros. But again, I am very impressed with the fact that the Astros finished it off 17-14, going through some very tough teams. I know it could be different with a couple more runs scored or if the bullpen closes out a couple more games. But even with some of those hiccups in the offense and in the back end of the bullpen, still very good baseball being played by the Houston Astros.
So we've got the Mariners and Astros first of 2 coming up. The Astros 1 game back in the AL West. We will have more on a Tuesday night from Minute Maid Park right after this. Southwest Airlines. low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. Couple of lefties on the mound tonight. Dallas Keuchel for the Astros. James Paxton for the Mariners. Julia Morales will break down the pitching matchup when we come back.
To kick off what's going to be a quick two-game series right here at Minute Maid Park. Couple of southpaws facing off. James Paxton of the Seattle Mariners versus Dallas Keuchel of the Houston Astros. Despite being in the same division, this is actually only the second time that it's lined up for them to go toe-to-toe, and it could be a pitcher's duel. Texas Auto Diamond Kings is going to show us why. We've got some numbers for you. Dallas likes pitching against the ends. He has a career .267 against his club, but in 4 starts since last year, a .157. He's holding hitters to .186 batting average. He threw CG last time he faced him, but he actually took the loss in that game. And if you remember, the winner of that game was James Paxton. That was the first time these two went toe-to-toe. Paxton against the Astros has been really tough as well. The 1.65 ERA in the 5 starts since 2017. And AT HOU was talking about that dynamic fastball. It's good against righties and lefties. It doesn't really matter. His month of May was good too, of course, throwing the no-hitter back on May 8th. So these are two of the league's best lefties right now, especially going back to last year. They've been good against the team that they're going against tonight. Since 2017, you're looking at the numbers, are two of the best in the American League, including Justin Verlander, who's in the mix there. But something's got to give tonight. TK and Blummer, I'm going to send it up to you.
Yeah, two guys that go at it a little bit differently, Julia, even though they're both left-handed. Dallas a little more finesse, keeping the ball down in the zone, and we're seeing James Paxton really live up in the zone a lot more with that fastball lately. We'll have more on him in the bottom half of the inning, but we'll start things off tonight with Dallas Keuchel on the hill.
Yep, and apparently getting out of the first inning is a big issue for Dallas Keuchel. At 6.75 ERA in the first inning is quite high. 3-7 on the season, 3.65 ERA. Fastball, cutter, the curveball. If he is getting calls down the zone, it should be a pretty good evening for Dallas Keuchel.
Keuchel will face 3 left-handers tonight in the Seattle starting lineup as the Mariners come in having won 8 out of their last 10, coming off an 8-2 homestand, and they just swept the Tampa Bay Rays in a 3-game weekend series. D. Gordon will be at the top of the lineup for the Mariners. He is a high-energy guy. Doesn't see a whole lot of pitches for a leadoff hitter, but he'll lead off, and he is one of the 3 lefties in the lineup, followed by Gene Segura, who's having a great year. Mitch Haniger and Segura have been the main cogs in this lineup with Robinson Cano down. And then you've got the DH Nelson Cruz, Kyle Seager, another lefty playing third base and batting fifth. Ryan Healy at first base hits sixth. Guillermo Heredia in center field bats seventh. Ben Gamble, the left fielder, the third lefty in the lineup, and he'll hit eighth. Mike Zunino catches and bats ninth. Astros 2-2 on this homestand. Taking on the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners taking over first place after that first loss to the Red Sox on Saturday. And they were percentage points ahead then, and then won the game on Sunday while the Astros lost Sunday night. So now the M's carry a one-game lead in the AL West into this one, and we are ready for baseball. Top two teams in this division getting ready for a two-game series. Keuchel delivers a first pitch fastball a little bit high for ball one. Carlos Torres behind home plate calling balls and strikes. Erwin Danley's a crew chief at second base tonight. Ground ball towards Danley. Altuve backhand jump throw, and it's going to be high and over the head of Yuli Gurriel and into the dugout. Altuve knew he had to hustle with D. Gordon running. That'll be a hit and an error.
Probably going to end up being a single and an error, but first pitch was a pretty good pitch on our MD Anderson strike zone. This one hit right back up the middle, and Altuve, really the only opportunity he had, lost the grip on the exchange. Not sure if we'll be able to see it, but watch where the ball hits in the glove of Altuve. It's up in the heel. Didn't get a good grip out of that position in the glove.
And unfortunately, it did land in the dugout, giving the Mariners leadoff hitter an extra base. So D. Gordon already in scoring position. Here's Gene Segura.
On our Matchstrom Super Mode, you get a better idea. It's up in the palm of the glove, and you can see as it's rattling around, Jose Altuve trying to look for it. And it's not something in the infield with a guy running that fast. You can take the time to look in your glove and find it. You're just hoping it's in the right spot.
So Altuve charged with just his second error of the season. The Astros as a team coming in with the fewest errors in baseball. They only committed 16 errors in the first 61 games. Segura coming in third in the American League with that .331 batting average. And he has been red hot lately. .409 his last 22 games. He has kind of picked up the slack where his double play partner Robinson Cano went on the suspension list. Line drive to center in front of Jake Marisnick. Gordon will be held at third. And two quick hits here. An infield hit and now a line drive single for the Mariners. And they're in business early. First and third, nobody out.
Out on the attack early against Dallas Keuchel. Not a bad pitch. Change up down and away. Segura does a phenomenal job of staying on it and going the other way. And the mentality as the hitter, even as well as Gene Segura has been swinging the bat, is to go the other way. And that's a pretty good pitch to do it on. And the reason I say he's thinking about going the other way is because the runner is at second base. Your mistake that ends up being an out could possibly move that runner 90 feet closer.
Now their RBI leader, Mitch Haniger. Haniger has driven in 42 runs on the year. That's good for third in the American League behind J.D. Martinez, who we just saw, and Manny Machado of the Orioles. Tied with Jed Lowry for third. Dallas gets a strike on the outside corner. This Mariners team not been scoring a ton of runs, but they've been getting great pitching. 15-5 over the last 20 games since the 19th of May, and Scott Service has watched his team ERA during that time pitch to a very low 2.26 earned run average. Slowly hit towards Correa. He will flip to Altuve. The return throw not in time. Haniger beats it out. A run will score. And because Haniger beat out the double play throw, he gets an RBI there, his 43rd of the year.
We've been talking all year about how Dallas Keuchel does a good job with movement to create soft contact. He does get a ton of ground balls. Usually he benefits from them, but this one not hit hard enough to enable those guys up the middle to be able to turn it on Haniger.
Even though it didn't work out for the Astros, that was a really quick turn.
It was extremely quick. Credit Haniger for running down there pretty quick.
So here's Nelson Cruz as Haniger's checked it first. He has stolen 3 bases this year in 5 attempts. Cruz is the one guy that's always given Dallas Keuchel problems in this lineup. Keuchel starts him off slow and gets a called strike. Dallas trying to turn things around in the month of June after May was a bit of a struggle. Did face some very good offenses during that stretch. Here's a chopper off the glove of Dallas, and Cruz is going to live. Tough play for most, but one you usually see the Gold Glover make coming off the mound. That'll be a hit.
3-time Gold Glover Dallas Keuchel. That just popped out of his glove. I don't think there was any. He wasn't trying to be too quick to second base. It hit him right in the palm and popped out of the glove. It's a pretty aggressive call on a base hit.
Because I think he may have had to play at second if he fields it cleanly.
Well, you know he had about 15 minutes to throw it to first.
Here's Kyle Seager. Talking about the sprint leaderboard.
Yeah.
Dallas will tell you after the game he feels like he should have made that play. Not a lot of pitchers get there as quickly as Dallas does, but he was there and just had it go off his glove. Seager with a count of 1-0.
And another thing he did was put himself in a good position. Actually, if he did complete the catch, was to put himself in a good position to throw to second to get that lead out. Just unfortunate it popped out.
Another one of those soft contact base hits though against Keuchel, and he has had a lot of those this year. Only Chris Sale and Jacob deGrom with less soft contact. This one the other way and into the first row of the Crawford boxes, and just like that, Kyle Seager hits a 3-run home run and makes it 4-0. Mariners jumping out with more runs, 1/3 of an inning into this game than Dallas allowed in a complete game last time against Seattle.
Not crushed, but still a home run nonetheless here at Minute Maid Park. Fastball away. Looked like he got the barrel to it, but I'm not sure he squared it up. A little more of a slicing fly ball to left field. Because off the bat, it didn't have the sound of a home run. Really didn't have that trajectory either. Or I should say the exit velocity. Because obviously the trajectory was enough.
Seager's 10th home run of the season. Now up to 36 runs batted in with that 3-run home run. Here's Ryan Healy. It's not the way the Astros hope to get things started, especially with James Paxton waiting to pitch for the other side. Keuchel and Paxton, as Julia said, locked up in a good one. April 16th at Safeco Field ended up being a 2-1 Mariners win. Already more runs in this inning than combined in the last matchup between these two lefties. Here's a little fly ball to right field that George Springer makes the play on for the second out. Here's now the starting defense, brought to you by Xfinity for the Astros. D. Gordon led off with that base hit. You saw Altuve try to make the running play. He's on the right side with Yuli Gurriel. Left side is Carlos Correa and Alex Bregman. In the outfield from left to right, Marwin Gonzalez, Jake Marisnick, and George Springer. Max Stassi gets another start. He has been a busy man since Brian McCann went to the DL, starting for the 6th time in the last 7 games. Guillermo Heredia takes a called strike. not a strong hit probability for Kyle Seager. That's one of those Crawford boxes home runs. And first inning continues to plague Dallas this year. 31% hit probability.
It's amazing. Yeah, 95 miles an hour off the bat. And this is a place where Dallas Keuchel has been very comfortable over his career. In his career here at Minute Maid Park, 3.01 ERA. This season, coming into this game, 4.06.
Dallas usually doesn't give up many home runs as he gets this strike on the edge. To run the count full, and now ground ball towards the hole. Correa on the move, and a nice play. Picked at first base by Yuli Gurriel to end the top half of the first inning. But the Mariners put up 4 and lead it 4-0. George Springer leads things off in right field, followed by Alex Bregman at third. Jose Altuve is the second baseman, batting in the 3 spot. Carlos Correa at short. Yuli Gurriel, Evan Gattis. Only switch hitter in the lineup, Marwin Gonzalez, then Max Stassi and Jake Marisnick round out your Astros lineup.
James Paxton going for the Seattle Mariners, another left-handed pitcher these Astros are facing. 12 starts, 4-1 record. A lot of strikeouts, 95 and 74 and 2/3 innings pitched. That opponent, AL batting average is extremely good against him. He's given up a 190 batting average against.
Here's one guy that really has feasted on Paxton lately, as good as he has been the last few years. George Springer has had his number. Best numbers in the Astros lineup, and most recently Springer in his last 7 plate appearances, 4 for 4, 2 walks and a sacrifice fly against Paxton. That includes a home run in the mix. Tries to hold up, and he does. It's 2-1. George picked up leadoff home run number 22 in the game on Sunday night. 2 of those 22 career leadoff home runs have come against Paxton. This one on the inner half for a strike. It's 2-2. And George knew it. He started walking after he took that called 3rd strike. Paxton picks up a strikeout to start the bottom half of the first.
A lot of fastballs. Not trying to fool anybody, but 97 down portion of the zone. If you're not ready to hit that, that's what happens.
Here's Alex Bregman. Alex coming in batting .260. Takes a strike call. Last year in the postseason, Alex Bregman getting a couple of big-time lefties. A couple of home runs against Chris Sale, Clayton Kershaw. Got him in the postseason book, and over the weekend he added another talented lefty, David Price. Well, Bregman has picked up some home runs against some of the game's best lefties. He has not hit a home run against Paxton yet in 15 career at-bats.
He's going to get plenty of opportunities.
Yeah. Astros will see the Mariners a lot, especially later on in the year, as Bregman sends this one high to right field, but playable. Mitch Haniger just drifts back a step or two. That's 2 outs. Time for No Player Does More, brought to you by HEV. Jose Altuve. During this stretch against Cleveland, Boston, and the Yankees, getting it done.
Yeah, you want your big boys to step up, and Jose Altuve is definitely one of those big boys. He's not going to be up there in stature, but he steps up in big moments. We saw a lot of those big hits during that stretch, doing everything he can to try and put some runs on the board to help increase the chances of the Astros going out there. I wonder what kind of stuff he has. Put him in the back end of that bullpen. Does everything else. But it's good to see, as good as he was against some of those tough teams. It was rough before that.
10 straight hits at one point, starting in Cleveland. Paxton misses the edge there. It's 1-1. Paxton a strikeout and a flyout to start this game. Astros trying to climb a 4-run hill against Paxton, facing another guy who threw a no-hitter earlier in the year. They've already faced Sean Manaea following his no-hitter. Paxton's had a little time in between. He threw that no-hitter up in Toronto back on May the 8th. Exactly 4 weeks ago today.
Big Maple.
Big Maple. Doing it in Canada. One pitch is hit hard to left. Gamble is there. Jose Altuve hits the ball hard, but is retired for the final out. Paxton ends up with a 1-2-3 first.
The 2018 MLB Draft,
the Houston Astros select Seth Beer.
Time now to see who's bringing their best, brought to you by Old Dominion. And Seth Beer brought his best, and he brought enough to be able to be the first pick of the 2018 draft for the Houston Astros out of Clemson. Batting average at .301. The on-base percentage is a beautiful Astro .456. And that OPS, these numbers these Astro analytics guys love. On-base percentage plus slugging gets him over 1,000 OPS He is a drop and drive guy, and we didn't have enough time, but you saw that he had more walks than strikeouts this season for the Clemson Tigers.
Quite an impressive 3 years with Clemson, including winning the Dick Hauser Trophy given to the National College Baseball Player of the Year his freshman year, and that's the first time in NCAA history a freshman's won that award. Followed up with good numbers the last 2 years, and looking forward to the time he makes the big league team, because that will be a popular jersey.
I was going to say, there's already the Twitter buzz is well worth it when you got a last name like that.
Ground ball up the middle. Dallas Keuchel has allowed another hit. That's 5 hits for the Mariners already. And that leads us to our Twitter Tuesday topic of the night. Tweet us your thoughts on who was your favorite Astros draft pick of all time. Couple high draft picks reside on the left side of the Astros infield. And they are the bottom 2 of the list. You've also got George Springer playing right field tonight. Biggio.
It's a pretty good list.
Out of Seton Hall in 1987. Lance Berkman out of Rice in 97, 10 years later. Here's Mike Zunino with a count of 1-0. Dallas in his last start against Seattle pitched a complete game in a losing effort, went 8 innings, allowed 6 hits. He's already allowed 5 hits tonight. Zunino crushes one to left field, hooking down the line, and this ball is gone. 2-run home run, and it's 6-0 Seattle. We're just one time through the lineup. Zunino hits his 9th home run of the year.
Zunino can be susceptible to fastballs in. This is a hanging curveball, 79 miles an hour on the inner third. The only question was whether or not it was going to stay fair, and that caught plexiglass.
Ooh. Over the tracks. And off the plexiglass. Not many go out that far.
Man.
A 3-run home run and a 2-run home run allowed by Dallas Keuchel.
That ball was hit 110.5 miles an hour off the barrel. Estimated 429.
He was a big boy out of University of Florida, and he got into that last one. Dallas had allowed 1 home run combined in his last 5 starts before tonight. He's already allowed 2. No outs into the second. D. Gordon with a count of 1-2. Diving stop by Yuli. Dallas covering, and just in time to get the speedy D. Gordon. Nice play by Yuli for out number 1 of the second.
Good play by Yuli, moving to his right. The backhand, make sure of that toss. And it's tough. You're playing the infield behind a guy who typically gets a lot of ground balls, but you're seeing him go out and get smashed here early on. Makes those ground ball plays that much more important. Yuli makes it look pretty good, but that was a tough play.
Here's Gene Segura taking a called strike. Segura singled his first time up. Six runs allowed by Keuchel, the most he's allowed to Seattle in any start of his career. This is start number 16 for the Astros lefty against the M's. He'd allowed 5 a couple of starts, both at Safeco Field, but never before has allowed this many. AJ's used to watching this guy dominate the Mariners. We showed you the numbers leading into this game. Last 6 he has an ERA below 2, but tonight has been quite a different story. Segura stays alive on a ball that was just off the ground. He'll work you with 2 strikes, Segura will. 300 batting average on the year with 2 strikes. Sharp grounder right down by our third base camera well.
I think he knocked it down. Pretty gutsy play.
Two pitch. Foul tip caught by Stassi. That's a strikeout. Dallas picks up his first.
Good changeup down. Mariner hitters are going to make Dallas Keuchel work a little bit harder than normal. Some of those pitches off the edges, and that's what we're accustomed to seeing Dallas Keuchel do, is stay on those edges, force some swinging foul balls, and then a good changeup to put away Segura.
Here's Mitch Haniger. That's a called strike. Haniger bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. Now 2 for 14 in his career against Keuchel. Doesn't go after the changeup. It's 1-1. On the ground to Correa, 2 big hops. And Dallas, after allowing the 2-run home run, comes back to get the next 3. Gordon, Segura, and Haniger, but it's 6-0 Mariners.
Opportunities, including club and suite level seats for any group size. Visit astros.com/suites or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your luxury suite today. Guys, quick injury update for you. Brian McCann, been on the 10-day deal since May 29th with the left knee soreness. Won't be eligible to come off until after that Texas series, but today was a big test for him. He did a little bit of everything, hitting on the field with the team. You know, he loved that. And he left the team to see the team doctors while they were on the road. Got that knee drain, got a cortisone shot, so he needed a few days, but he's ready, easing back into things, and they're going to know more after seeing how he responds to today's workload. TK.
All right, Julia, good to hear. Brian McCann, such a big part of the Astros' success last year and the early part of this season. Max Stassi having a very nice year, getting the majority of the playing time. But for me, it happened a couple of times last year. One was the knee and one was a 10-day concussion protocol. But for me, after catching 1,500 games, it's not the worst thing in the world to have a 10-day respite during a long season.
Absolutely not. I think that 10-day DL is a beautiful thing. Instituted a couple of years ago, and we've seen bullpens benefit from it. We've seen starting rotations benefit from it. Why not a guy who's caught, like you said, over 1,500 games?
2-1 pitch is inside for a ball. It's 3-1. Well, the Astros know one thing. Down 6, they have a long way to go against a very talented pitcher. But they also know another thing. They have 8 at-bats to work at.
And they've got the firepower to come back.
Carlos on that 3-1 pitch chops one foul down the line. Gray with some good numbers against Paxton. He and Springer have the best numbers on the team, 7 for 18 in his career. There's a ball into center field for a base hit. Astros have their first knock of the night as Correa with a clean single to center.
I think with a 6-0 lead, you're going to see James Paxton challenge these guys a little bit with that 95+ mile-an-hour fastball. And it's good to see Carlos getting on it and firing it right back up the middle. But we also saw in a 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 count where you saw that fastball coming in. Get it ready.
Here's Yuli Gurriel, and we're going to have a little meeting on the mound, at the mound, with Mike Zunino after that first pitch to Gurriel. Having a little discussion with James Paxton.
It's a little early for the panic button, isn't it?
Unless he saw something dramatically wrong with his delivery that he picked up in that first pitch to Gurriel after getting behind Correa, then that is a little early in a 6-0 lead. We'll see if he gets straightened out here. It's 2-0.
Bad visit.
What's
No, James Paxton's got a 1.67 in May. And that no-hitter is coming off a pretty good month. I'm not sure what would have get a guy to come out.
11-game hitting streak for Yuli. A clean single to right on the 2-0 pitch. Well, Paxton falling behind Correa 3-1, and now Gurriel 2-0. And the Astros 4 and 5 hitters getting something started here, down 6-0.
Yeah, take what they're giving you. Sit on that fastball, you get one, go with it. Yuli is so unique. To most hitters, that's not going to be a good pitch to hit, but Yuli does a good job of keeping the hands above the baseball, driving that pitch the other way in the open space.
Only the second career hit for Yuli against Paxton in 14 at-bats. So we'll see if the Astros can chip away here. Evan Gattis, the hitter. Has 4 home runs his last 7 games, has 9 runs batted in during that stretch. High, ball 1. It is Dollar Dog Night tonight at Minute Maid Park, presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. You're getting ready for a lot of Dollar Dog purchases out there.
Oh, man. When exactly did you put that order in?
Thought you might be hungry. Tuesday nights, Dollar Dog Night in 2018. Make sure you pay attention to that. There's a good crowd again for a Tuesday tonight.
Astro crowds out in force. It's good to see.
Astros the highest attendance jump from 2017 to 18 in the major leagues and currently sit 3rd in the AL in attendance. Behind just the Yankees and the Angels. Fans aren't settling.
Nope.
2-1 the count. So here we go again. 3-1 to Correa. 2-0 to Yuli, and now 2-1 to Gaddis. So we've had hitters counts to start this inning. That's not what Mel Stottlemyre Jr. was hoping for with a 6-run lead.
Knowing that one swing could cut that lead in half.
Pretty good swing there on 96. It's 2-2.
It was a good swing, and it was a good pitch to hit, too.
Stays 2-2. Astros met the Mariners back in mid-April, taking 3 out of 4 at Safeco Field. This is series number 2 of 6 between these two teams. They won't meet again until the end of July after this one. Gaddis high fly ball deep to left field. Gammel's at the wall, and it's playable right up against the AT&T side. Gaddis missed that by maybe a degree of launching. Out number 1.
Got in on him just a little bit. Zunino setting up in there. A little extra on the velo too. 97 miles an hour. Gaddis did a great job of bringing the hands in to get the barrel to it. Just a little too elevated off the bat.
Short porch and left almost paid off for the Astros, as it did for Kyle Seager and the Mariners in the top half of the first. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin takes a breaking ball for a strike. Marwin missed Sunday's game, dealing with a little right knee soreness. Left the game Saturday after running into that scoreboard wall in left field. Try to check on a down and in pitch. He does. 1 ball and 1 strike. Astros, first looking at that schedule, knew they had Cleveland, New York, and Boston back to back. Little did they know that Seattle would then carry in the 3rd best record in the not only American League, all the major leagues coming into tonight. So they have faced the top 3 teams in succession, facing the Yankees, the Red Sox, and now the Mariners in terms of record as we sit here on June the 5th. This is the edge. It's 2-1. Time to take a look at today's league leaders, brought to you by Houston Methodist. This is a stretch of games for the Houston Astros. So far, they are 5-6 in the first 11 games, with 2 more against the top team in the West right now, the Mariners. Marwin on the ground. Fair ball. Off the glove of Seager. Off the wall. Correa scores. Yuli being held up. And Marwin Gonzalez with an RBI double.
Marwin has seen plenty of opportunities with runners in scoring position. Has one here and does a great job. They try to get in on the hands of Marwin with 96. He turns on it and fortunately sneaks it past Kyle Seager down there at third base, just off the tip of the glove. It's good to see the Astros advancing again, hitting off that portion of that left field wall where the ball shoots back on the field pretty quick. And Carlos Correa does a great job of playing that carom to keep runners from advancing another 90 feet, but Gene Segura doesn't, allowing Yuli Gurriel to get to third and Marwin to get to second.
I think if there were 2 outs, Gary Pettis may have sent Yuli Gurriel, because there's a little confusion there with Gamble and Segura converging. Neither one of them really took charge, and Euler was pretty much on the bag by the time Gamble picked it up. But with one out and a guy who has absolutely owned left-handed pitching at the plate, Pettis decides to give Max Stassi a couple of RBIs possibility here. The numbers have been phenomenal this year against lefties, 16 for 37. Max trying to snap an 0 for 10 right now. And takes a fastball for a strike.
It's kind of interesting to see Zunino go out and have a mound visit with Paxton. Then we saw Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, come out 2 visits in this inning with a 6-0 lead. The only reason it's interesting to me is because last time Paxton was out there against Texas, he went 5 innings, but they took him out after throwing 89 pitches. So you might be right in the sense that they might be seeing something, or maybe something is trending that they don't like that they're trying to correct.
4 walks in that outing.
Yep.
And he's gotten in trouble in this inning by falling behind hitters, although he's ahead of Stassi here 0-2. Stassi does not chase that one down, and it's 1-2. Well, the infield's back for Seattle right now, so they are conceding a run. Max just has to focus on putting the ball in play and try and cut into this 6-1 lead. Fouls it away. Stassi getting a lot of work. You heard Julia with her update on Brian McCann a moment ago. McCann closing in on the end of his 10-day DL stint. Stassi starting in 6 of those 7 games with McCann on the shelf. Good take there. It's 2-2. Oh, base hit here would really change the complexion of the game.
Yeah, and you want to be the hero and go out there and drive a ball out of the ballpark, but you're right. Your mentality as a hitter has just got to be staying up the middle, make sure you're pushing these runs across the board, especially less than 2 outs.
That was off a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Paxton ramping it up a little bit with 2 strikes.
He might be feeling a little bit of urgency too, knowing that this is the bottom portion of the Astros lineup. The guys that do the real damage are about to turn over this lineup.
Swing and a miss. Missed that fastball at 97. And Stassi goes down swinging for out number 2. Two outs, 2 runners in scoring position. Now Jake Marisnick.
Those are tough outs when you've got base runner 90 feet away. Just got flat out beat by a fastball up.
Now it's up to Jake. Coming in batting 164, has 4 home runs on the year. Marisnick takes one outside for a ball. 3 hits in the inning. Paxton approaching 30 pitches in this inning as well after throwing 13 in the first. One and 1 to count. Hits the edge at 98. Jake down in the count 1-2. Marwin Gonzalez with an RBI double in this inning, his 29th run batted in. Looking for more on the Astros, and Marisnick goes down swinging 99. Paxton throwing a fastball at 99 to end the inning and picks up back-to-back strikeouts. It's now a 6-1 game heading to the 3rd.
Carlos Correa has been very good, making a great play earlier in this game, going to his right, throwing back across his body. He has been very athletic, and we've talked a lot about Joe Espada, the new bench coach, doing a very good job in working with these two guys up the middle on working on that first step. And again, Carlos Correa, don't ever take for granted what this guy does. He has to work hard to be a very good defensive shortstop because he is a legitimate 6'4". It's not easy to get that frame going, to get it in position, and to stay down on some of these ground balls, but a tremendous athlete and a very good defender.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen a guy have a much better season defensively than what we've seen out of Carlos Correa, now 61 games in.
Well, he's making every routine play, which we come to expect, but he's also making great plays like that one. But he also makes the great plays look easy.
Increase that range. You mentioned the work with Espada. That first step is a big improvement from the past that we've seen. I know it's a tough road when you have Andrelton Simmons as a shortstop in that same league, but he certainly deserves consideration early on if he keeps playing like this for a Gold Glove. Nelson Cruz, the batter, with a 1-1 count. He had an infield hit, a ball that Dallas Keuchel got to but couldn't make the play on as he tried to glove it and get the throw to second for a fielder's choice. That made Cruz 12 for 34 in his career against Keuchel. And Nelson also has 4 home runs against Dallas, which is the most Keuchel's allowed against any hitter in the major leagues. Swings and misses at that 2-1 pitch. It's 2-2. Astros down 6-1, but a little feeling of frustration heading out of that inning. They felt like they could have had a few more. Second and third and 1 out was left there. Now the count's full. Called third strike. Cruz thought he had drawn the walk. Carlos Torres said it caught the plate. Second strikeout for Dallas, 1 out in the third.
I actually feel like Carlos Torres, the home plate umpire, has had a pretty good zone for Dallas Keuchel. There's a couple of pitches up in the zone he hasn't gotten. But the reason I think Nelson Cruz might be a little bit upset is that's a changeup that got yanked across the plate. Typically you see that changeup down and away to a right-handed hitter, but kind of crossed up everybody with that one, but Torres stayed on the strike zone to give him the call.
Here's Kyle Seager. Seager hit one into the first row of the Crawford boxes his first time up. 3-run home run, making it a 4-0 game at the time. His 10th home run of the year. He has more than 2/3 of his runs batted in playing away from Safeco Field. Now 25 road runs batted in for Seager out of his 36. Dallas behind 2-0. There's a good breaking ball for a strike. It's 2-1. Today is a Twitter Tuesday, and our topic, you can send your picks to @ATT Sportsnet SW, is your favorite Astros draft pick of all time. They are 10 rounds into the draft, 2 yesterday and rounds 3 through 10 today. Dallas picks up a strike on the edge there. It's 3-2. 9 of the first 10 picks for Houston so far in 2018 have been college players. The second pick overall, 93 overall, the Astros' second round pick. Jason Schroeder, the only high school player selected. Up the middle, but Correa is there on the backhand. Seager is retired for out number 2. Favorite Astros draft pick was Lance Berkman out of Rice University. BGO. First true Astros Hall of Famer. How can you go wrong with Seth Beer?
He's already endeared himself to most of the fans here.
Yes. 2 outs, bases cleared. Here's Ryan Healy. I'm looking forward to when he's on base and someone drives him in and he crosses the plate for the first time as an Astro.
What are you going to go with?
Beer run.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
We'll be here all night.
We'll be here for a 2-game series. Line drive speared by Keuchel. Ryan Healy staring out in disbelief. He can't believe Keuchel was able to get that glove up in time. Dallas Keuchel.
He's always in position. Great play.
Chevy Stropel is. Remember to follow us at ATT Sportsnet SW. All right, what do you think? What is the better dugout staple? This is our pinned tweet, so go and vote. Bubblegum or sunflower seeds? There's a lot of those in the dugout. Buckets and buckets. Charlie Morton's working on some pumpkin seeds right now, too.
There's lots of different flavors.
Yeah, there's way more options nowadays.
We've got sugar-free.
Even for sunflower seeds. That's what's crazy.
George Springer, little soft serve base hit into right field to start the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Well, if nothing else, the Astros are proving that Paxton has been a little hittable the last couple of innings in this 6-1 game. Wasn't the hardest hit baseball, but that's now 4 hits in the last 2 innings.
Yeah, high quality directional work by George, but not a prototypical swing that we're accustomed to seeing. But at the end of the day, it's a knock. He's on base and he's trying to get things going for the Astros.
Here's Alex Bregman. He flied out his first time up. I'm kind of with you, though, going back to the mound visits with Paxton, because you kind of think to yourself as an offense, well, maybe he is dealing with something, whether it's a mechanical issue or something slightly off.
Maybe we got rattled.
We'll see how it plays out. He could easily lock it in for the next 5 or 6 innings, but Bregman sends one into center field. Well hit. Heredia going back. He's at the track. He reaches up and he crashes into the wall and makes the play. Alex Bregman hit one 409 feet, and Heredia with a very nice catch in center.
I'll tell you what, Robinson Cano being suspended for taking PEDs has moved Dee Gordon, who was traded over here to play center field. We saw Dee Gordon play in center field earlier in the year, and it was okay, questionable maybe. But with him moving to second base, now that Cano is out on the suspension, it gives Heredia a chance to play center field, and I'm not sure Dee Gordon makes that play in center field.
That was a pretty severe collision.
No, that was a great play. No regard for his body.
Here's Jose Altuve. He swings to the first pitch and catches Zunino with a foul ball. That was full steam into the center field wall. Already didn't slow up at all.
No, that was an 85% hit probability for Alex Bregman. 102 miles an hour off the bat. It's a 415 foot out.
Looks like Bregman still has had the toughest luck all year amongst the Astros hitters.
Yuli might argue with you just a little bit.
Yeah, Yuli's right there.
That ball was crushed off the bat of Alex Bregman. I think George had the right idea. Get to second base. If he ends up dropping it, he scores easy. But if he does end up catching it, you see what happened. He gets back to first base easily.
Altuve back to the mound. Paxton's throw is low, and Altuve's going to beat it out. Paxton not really smooth on that transition, but they do get the lead out as George is forced out. Altuve at first with 2 away. I'll bring up Carlos Correa. He singled his first time up. Correa with that base hit, now an 8-game hitting streak against the Mariners. Carlos takes a strike. Tenth career start for Paxton against the Astros. Coming in, he was 4-3 with an ERA of 3.16. And he catches a strike at the knees. Velocity's been up a little bit tonight. We've seen consistently 97, 98. We even saw a 99 to close out the inning, striking out Jake Marisnick.
He's reaching back when he needs to, averaging 95.5 miles an hour on the season.
Breaking ball slowly hit towards third. Seager is there, makes the force at second, getting Altuve for the final out. 1 man left on base. We head to the fourth. 6-1 Seattle.
Last inning, a rocket back up the middle Dallas Keuchel snags it as if nothing was going on, but 105.5 miles an hour off the bat. Pretty quick reaction. That was in the air. 0.8 of a second.
What?
Yep.
Come on.
Be ready.
Ground ball speared by Bregman nicely to his left. Astros starting to throw some leather at the Mariners for out number 1 to start the 4th. Heredia grounds out. Astros coming in leading the American League in defensive runs saved with 19. The Angels are second with 18. Jose Altuve made a throwing error in the first inning. Just the 17th error committed by the Astros all season. Here's Ben Gamel. Takes a called strike. The worst part for Healy is even if that ball is not touched by Dallas Keuchel, Jose Altuve was sitting back there.
That is very true. Making a much easier play on it.
Making a 105.5 up the middle does not necessarily mean a base hit anymore. Two guys had a shot at it. Keuchel, one of the few pitchers who would pick that one up cleanly. Gamel singled and scored a run his first time up. Dallas first time through the lineup, allowing 6 runs on 6 hits. Next time through the lineup, 7 men have batted. Nobody has reached base. We have seen that before from Dallas Keuchel. Sometimes you see pitchers give up 4 or more early on in a game and they feel like the outing's over and they aren't necessarily as focused with every pitch the rest of the way. But Keuchel can lock it in even after giving up a big spot early. Here's a line drive and coming on to catch it around the knees is Marwin Gonzalez. Hard hit by Gamel, but that's now 8 in a row sent down by Keuchel.
Time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Who is it? Second round pick in 1985. Defining trades, high percentage. Make sure you tweet your answers at ATT Sportsnet SW. We will find out who that Astro is later on in this ball game.
Here's Mike Zunino. Broken bat, the barrel shatters. Bregman has an easy play. Zunino, after hitting that 2-run home run his first time up, loses his bat the next time. 8-pitch inning for Dallas. We head to the bottom of the 4th, still 6-1.
and promotions happening at Minute Maid Park. This month's calendar includes a Superhero Day, Yuli Gnome with Troll Hair giveaway, and an Astros Fedora giveaway. Visit astros.com/promotions for tickets and the full list of events. TK.
All right, Julia, well, we mentioned the Mariners have had a pretty good run against less than stellar competition lately. The Astros have gone through their toughest stretch. June and July look pretty good in terms of the schedule leading into the All-Star break for the Astros. After this series with Seattle, Oakland is the only team they play with a winning record until after the All-Star break. As Yuli Gurriel down to the count quickly, 0-2. It is a very long season, still 100 games to go after tonight. Over the course of a 162-game championship schedule, usually the cream rises to the top, but every once in a while you have one of those years. We saw it from Texas a couple of years ago.
2016.
Yep. Where you just keep winning one-run games like the Mariners are now. Here's a ball hit hard. Diving stop by D. Gordon, and he makes the play. D, who, as Blummer mentioned earlier, switched positions at the beginning of the season, now back to his more comfortable second base. He makes a nice play to retire Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah, he will be a much better second baseman than center fielder in this ball again. Remember what you said about Alex Bregman? Yuli Gurriel with another high exit velocity attempt to go out and get a base hit. Turns into an out. 102 miles an hour off the bat. The ball was hit hard, but a great play by D. Gordon.
D is always having fun out there, brings tons of energy. And now playing at second base as Evan Gattis sends one high to left field, but again he just got under this. He sent Gamble to the wall his first time out. This time he got under this one. Gamble able to play that in front of the warning track by a good margin for the second out. 2 outs, nobody on. Well, the Mariners are 18-9 in one-run games. The Astros are quite the opposite. They're 4-12. You don't anticipate those percentages staying in place for an entire season, but every once in a while it happens. There's a pitch to Marwin for a ball, 1-0.
Still just amazing to see it be that drastic on both sides.
Yep.
Have the Mariners be that good and the Astros that bad, because 4-12 doesn't make any sense. We figured they'd at least play 500 ball in some of those games.
Marwin sends Haniger back to the wall. This ball's off the wall. Marwin has himself another double. He's going to go for 3. Haniger with the throw cut off. Marwin Gonzalez with a double followed up by a triple as he went off the wall and right.
Haniger took a route to this I'm sure Siri would be proud of. A little bit of a detour out there once he got on the warning track. Seemed to have a pretty good beat on it, but that ball ended up over his left shoulder, hitting well up off that wall. Nice choice up there in the Dallas Keuchel jersey to lay away from that one, because if he does end up touching it, it's a double. Good hustle by Marwin.
Here's Max Stassi right back to the mound, and the Astros will strand a runner on the comebacker as Paxton makes the play for the final out of the inning. So a 2-out triple, and we head to the 5th. 8-pitch inning for Paxton.
social media. Colin McHugh discusses how he's adjusted to being a relief pitcher and look back at Jose Altuve's franchise best consecutive hit streak. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded tonight after the postgame show, only on AT&T Sportsnet. Mariners coming in feeling pretty good heading into this 2-game series, winning 15 of their last 20. I asked AJ about this before the game. As he began to study for Seattle this time around, what did he notice? And he said the pitching's just been tremendous. They're winning those close games because of pitching, the bullpen shifting a bit too, roles have changed. This is really a much different team than they saw the first time around. There's some guys that they hadn't seen, including Ryan Healy, but they've been playing winning baseball, and that's something that AJ has noticed with this group. But the team as a whole was looking forward to seeing them again, even if it is a 2-game series, to matching up against Seattle, knowing how good they were feeling coming into this series. The Astros wanted to stop the win streak by the Mariners.
Yeah, it's been a really good story. Obviously, if you're an Astros fan, you'd prefer it to be a story in another division, but the Mariners losing Robinson Cano to an 80-game suspension and actually playing better baseball without their highest paid player and number 3 hitter. They were able to go out and make a trade, partially because of the money saved by not having to pay Cano during the suspension. As D. Gordon goes down on 3 pitches, Dallas picks up strikeout number 3. 14-5, Blummer, without really scoring many runs since Cano's been out.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because the offensive numbers are going to go down when you pull out a superstar like Robinson Cano. But the pitching has really been the thing for the Seattle Mariners. It's been incredible because none of these guys that we see, other than James Paxton and King Felix, really draw much attention, but they're putting up relatively good numbers.
Marco Gonzalez has been very good. Tomorrow we're going to see Wade LeBlanc. He's kind of taken over that number 5 spot, and his numbers are...
He's got a 1.7 something here in the last month or so. So, I mean, those aren't typical guys that you assume are going to step up in situations, but they have.
And tomorrow, watching LeBlanc, the lefty, he makes Dallas Keuchel look like he throws in the upper 90s. This one is drilled deep to left field on the 1-0 pitch. Segura puts one up on the train tracks. That is a deep home run, the 5th of the year for Segura, and the 3rd home run allowed by Keuchel in this game. After Dallas had retired 10 in a row, Segura makes it a 7-1 game.
And maybe to that point that we're talking about the Mariners, is their bullpen has been good. The only interesting thing about me for the Seattle Mariners is when their bullpen is taxed the second half of the season, how are they going to respond? That's a pitch well and off the hands, on the hands of Gene Segura, and he pulled him in nicely to barrel it up and keep it fair. That's not easy to do. Even Dallas, I think, might be impressed. Or he can't believe what's going on.
Yeah, one or the other. Like we said earlier, he had gone 5 starts in a row, allowing just a total of 1 home run. That was against the Indians 3 starts ago, but tonight he's allowed 3. Only in the 5th inning. Here's Mitch Haniger. Yeah, I agree with you about the number of games, especially for a youngster like Edwin Diaz.
Yeah.
Who has been remarkable. But he pitched in 5 games last week, including every game of the weekend against Tampa Bay.
It's amazing going 3 in a row, but that's one thing we've learned about Scott Service early on in this division is that if he has an opportunity to go win a game and he has a guy like Edwin Diaz who can go out and finish off games for him, he is going to go to him. He's not going to waste days off. I mean, I'm sure today might be a day off, and he's probably pretty thankful that the offense has stepped up. But he has proven that he is not afraid to go out there and use those guys when he feels he has a chance to win at any time.
Diaz has now pitched in 32 games.
Wow.
The Mariners have only played 59. There's nobody else in baseball that has appeared in more games than Edwin Diaz. And that's your closer. 1-2 the count to Mitch Haniger. After the off day yesterday for both teams, the Mariners maintain this big lead. More than likely, Service will not need him, but a long way to go. We're only in the 5th. Astros still have a lot of time to do some damage, and they've been hitting Paxton a little harder here since the 1st inning. And have 5 hits against him in the last 3 innings. 2-2 the count to Haniger. You know, with that home run by Segura and seeing some of the shortstops we have seen lately, Francisco Lindor, of course, the Astros own Carlos Correa, Segura. Didi Gregorius was American League Player of the Month in April. Manny Machado we haven't seen yet. Andrelton Simmons is having a phenomenal season for the Angels. There's going to be at least 2 shortstops that are having really good years that do not end up going to Washington, D.C. as part of A.J. Hinch's American League All-Star team.
No doubt about it. And that could just be a rotation that we see for the next 7 or 8 years in the American League.
That's not even mentioning Xander Bogaerts' name.
True, good point.
3-2 pitch is grounded on 2 hops towards Bregman. Haniger retired for out number 2. Twitter Tuesday. Today's topic, your favorite Astros draft pick. The draft is 2 days down with one day to go. Carlos Correa, Craig Biggio. Biggio until Springer came along, and for many of the same reasons. The Sunshine Kids for Biggio, and George with his Say project, helping people that stutter. He's been a great spokesperson for them. Here's a called strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, you really can't discount the ability to draft talent and also character.
Oh, 1 pitch is popped high in the air into left field. Marwin Gonzalez comes in. And Dallas has retired 12 out of 13. The one that did reach was a loud home run by Gene Segura, making it 7-1. Astros baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Rooms to Go, where you'll save even more when you buy the whole room, and delivery is fast and easy. By Jack in the Box, try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. And by Champion Energy Services, Champion, the exclusive electricity provider of the Houston Astros. Jake Marisnick leads off the bottom half of the 5th inning. Mariners have a 6-run lead once again. And Jake takes a called strike. Paxton finishing up the 2nd time through the lineup. So far has 2 strikeouts. Astros have 5 hits against them, including 2 extra base hits for Marwin Gonzalez. Jake down in the count 1-2. high fastball from Paxton, a little bit out of the zone. It's 2-2. Paxton has gone to that high fastball with a little more regularity here in May than he did earlier in the season. Drops that pitch down, a little cutter or slider down low in the zone that Jake fouls off.
Well, I think that pitch right there might be the reason why. It's because it can elevate. We've heard the Astro pitchers talk about it all the time. Brent Strom actually hopes these guys can elevate in the strike zone and get some swings and misses or get some takes in the zone and get those strikeouts. But if you change that eye level of the hitter, it kind of opens up the bottom portion of the zone for that cut or slide.
Three-two pitch just missed inside. Paxton wanted it. Gene Segura actually raised his arms at short. That's a walk. First one for Paxton.
Join the Astros and go behind the scenes of Minute Maid Park. Through the Astros ballpark tours, fans can check out areas such as the broadcast booth, press box, dugout, scoreboard, and more. Visit astros.com/tours to book your tour today.
Well, here's George Springer, 3 career home runs against Paxton. He is 5 for his last 6 with a couple of walks against the Big Maple. Hits one foul over the head of Bregman. Still leaning over after getting a little scare right there.
Yeah, friends don't treat friends like that.
A 1 pitch popped high in the air on the infield. Segura calls it and puts it away for out number 1. Springer now 1 for 3 tonight. He's the first out of the 5th. I think you've told the story before, but it is our Twitter Tuesday with a draft theme. But coming out of Cal.
Yeah, 7th round in 1994. These draft bonuses have changed a little bit, so it's good for them. But yeah, we didn't have cell phones back then, believe it or not. I still have a hard time convincing my kids that I didn't have a cell phone when I was there, you know, when I was 18, 21. But the first day went by, and there were, you know, there's always rumors and speculation, and scouts are going to say things, and agents are going to say things. Oh, you should be a top 3-round pick. Okay, right, thanks, buddy. You know, I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing. And the first day went by, didn't get a phone call. Went the next day, things were a little bit slow in the morning, so we went to the mall. Went and hung out with a couple of buddies, grabbed some lunch, took our sweet time, and came home. My mom is, you know, waiting in the living room. She's like, you know, I open the door, she's standing there all excited, and she hands me a piece of paper and said, hey, you know, I think Bill Stoneman wants to, you know, this is his phone number, call him back. I'm like, okay. And that's when I talked to Bill Stoneman, and he said that I was going to be the 7th round, or I was the 7th round pick of the Montreal Expos. And I said, that's awesome. Now what? You know? And so I still had eligibility left being at my junior year in college. So they sent out the local area scout with the contract. It wasn't much of a negotiation because I wanted to play. I was a little exhausted in studying at Cal and figured I could use the break and maybe the money. And the rest is history.
Bregman grounds one towards third. They try and turn 2 on Bregman, and they're able to. Nicely done around the horn. As Healy goes to D. Gordon, and as Seager goes to D. Gordon, they turn it over to Healy for the double play. We head to the 6th. Still 7-1. Toyota, good memory last time the Mariners were in town at the end of last year, and that is the clincher on September 17th. Celebration number 1 would be on, as the Astros knew pretty much from Memorial Day on, when they had the big lead, that they had a really good chance to be celebrating a division title, and they did at home in Justin Verlander's first start.
That's where it all began last year.
Justin Verlander's first home start as an Astro. There'll be a few more celebrations after that.
Yeah,
one in
real good ones. One
in Boston, one back here for the ALCS, and then the ultimate one at Dodger Stadium. But this year, the AL West looks a little more difficult to navigate. Last year wasn't really anybody that threatened to be many games over 500, but this year 4 of the 5 teams are over 500, including the Mariners, who come in with a 1-game lead and have a 7-1 lead over Dallas Keuchel and the Astros in this one. Kyle Seager, a big reason for that, with a 3-run home run his first time up. It's a line drive caught by Alex Bregman. Only one on the left side in the shift, and he wasn't too far from where that line drive was.
Best records in the American League, and this is what the Astros basically have seen here in the last 2 weeks. Red Sox, Yankees, then the Mariners, just a couple of losses ahead of the Houston Astros, and then you have the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. But I tell you what, the Seattle Mariners have seen a lot of other teams celebrate before them. They have got a pretty good sized drought before they went into the playoffs, or before hopefully getting to the playoffs. 2001, I think, was the last time they had an opportunity to win a playoff game.
Seattle fans know this all too well. It's the longest drought in the 4 major sports right now. It had been the Buffalo Bills before a miracle put them into the playoffs this year. Here's Ryan Healy. So, yeah, you have to go all the way back to that record-setting season in 2001 when the Mariners would win 116 games and reach the postseason. They have not been back since. Good change up there. Healy swings and misses. It's 1-2. I think Bills fans are still donating to Andy Dalton's charity after the Bengals won that game. Put the Bills into the postseason. This one's off the end of the bat. Yuli is there, and he will take it himself for out number 2.
Dalton's a Katie product.
Really?
Yep.
There you go. Miracle win, knocking the Ravens out, putting the Bills into the postseason after their game had concluded down in Miami. And now Seattle's on the clock, but they're off to a good start.
They're off to a great start. If they win today, it'll be the 3rd best start through 60 games that they've had in their franchise history. The best being that one that Todd is talking about in 2001, when they set a major league record with 116 wins.
So this is their beginning. If they can get through this stretch, I think right now there's a lot of skeptics around the league.
Yes.
If they can get through this stretch, where they face the Astros now, they'll go to Tampa Bay for 4. Then a couple of series with the Red Sox, the Angels in the mix, the Yankees in the mix. If they can get through that stretch and they're still right there with the Astros, then all of a sudden everybody around the league will be raising some eyebrows, saying this team could be a division contender.
And you've got to give them credit. They've earned the right to be at the top of the American League West, but at the same time, like you're saying, they haven't faced the same teams that the Astros have gone through. That American League East is a tough division. We saw that in the Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees. Those guys can thump a little bit. We saw them battle against Astros pitching. It's a different rotation for the Seattle Mariners. It's going to be real interesting to see how the LeBlancs and the King Felixes and Paxton match up against some of those big right-handed hitters.
1-2 pitch sent deep to center field. Jake on the run, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Jake covers so much ground in center field. That looked like a sure extra base hit.
Presented to you by Ford. Justin Verlander named the American League May Pitcher of the Month. Don't let the win-loss record distract you from some phenomenal numbers. In 6 starts in 41 2/3 innings pitched, got 153 batting average against. Allowed him to go out there and get a sub-1 ERA at 0.86.
Altuve starts off the bottom half of the 6th inning with a base hit to left. Second time Altuve's hit the ball hard tonight. He lined out to left his first time up. Jose now 1 for 3, and the Astros have another leadoff base runner. That's now 4 of the last 5 innings.
Fastball basically right down the middle, and Jose ripped it. Getting the barrel on it, shooting it to left field, getting things going again for the Astros. They'd like to string a couple of these hits together and push some runners across.
You mentioned right at the top, Paxton, a 190 batting average against, one of the best in the game. But tonight, the Astros with 6 hits. He has not allowed more than 6 hits in any start this year. 5th time that has happened as Carlos Correa bats. Carlos has one of those 6 hits with a single his first time up. Takes a called strike. Correa fouls one back. It's 0-2. Carlos 1 for 2. Scored the only run for the Astros, coming home on the Marwin Gonzalez double. Gets Correa there on the breaking ball. Only the 4th strikeout for Paxton, and his first since the 2nd inning.
Made pretty quick work of Carlos Correa. 3 pitches, good slider down.
Here's Yuli Gurriel, single his first time up and retired the last time on a really nice play by D. Gordon at second. Ball at 97 for a high strike. Yuli up to an 11-game hitting streak, has that batting average up to 293. Ground ball, backhanded by Healy to Gordon for 1, and for the 2nd consecutive inning, they go around the horn to end the inning. So in the 5th and again in the 6th, we head to the 7th, 7-1 Mariners.
biggest baseball fan in the Southwest. Arkansas, June is your month, so use hashtag UltimateSWFan, ARK on Twitter. Show us why you're the ultimate fan, and you could win a VIP experience. Watch the Astros all season long on their TV home, AT&T Sportsnet. Also, while you're on Twitter, vote in our Chevy Stroh poll. Jump over there right now. We're talking what's better in the dugout, or the better dugout staple, I should say, sunflower seeds or bubblegum. Here's a couple of tweets we've had so far, TK.
I've never seen you. You're in the dugout all the time. I've never seen you dig into either the barrels or either the.
Oh yeah, no, I'm flavored gum all the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
No sunflower seeds ever.
The green and pink wrapper.
Yep.
I'm not sure what flavor that is. Watermelon, maybe?
Yep.
Ooh, the watermelon ones are good.
Oof.
I'm with you on that.
It's addicting.
So you're gum?
No, I'm a seed guy. When I played, I would chew those things day in, day out until the inside of my mouth turned to leather.
Ground ball backhanded by Yuli Gurriel. Flips to Dallas. Yuli making some nice plays tonight as he robs Ben Gamble of a potential hit to start the 7th inning. Last inning ended with a 4-star catch by Jake Marisnick in center, and this is a nice play by Yuli.
Has been. He's been moving pretty good. He's getting some of those hits robbed of him. He's doing a little payback into that backhand side, no less. It's also nice, too, for him to be able to relax, know if he just catches it, Dallas Keuchel's going to be there waiting for the throw, too.
Well, Dallas facing Mike Zunino. Zunino, the number 9 hitter, launched one at 110 miles an hour deep down the left field line that actually hit beyond the train tracks off the windows here at Minute Maid Park. There have been a couple of loud home runs tonight by the Mariners. The other one by Seager just dropped into the first row of the Crawford boxes. But since Zunino's home run, Dallas has been really good. He's retired 16 out of 17. A little defensive help, but still 16 out of 17 with the lone blemish being the home run by Gene Segura. At the end of the day, this is not going to be a pretty night for Dallas Keuchel, but he has recovered since the Zunino home run. Sign is 2-1.
Zunino's second AB tried to hit a saw blade that Dallas Keuchel was throwing up there. Check swing, broken bat. Don't see that too often.
We were watching that about 3 or 4 times during the break. It's amazing that he was able to get in there.
It was incredible.
On a check swing, the barrel went almost as far as the baseball. This time Dallas behind 3-1. Fouls one back. So he hit a home run off a 110-mile-an-hour exit velocity, and the next at bat check swing, and the barrel goes
just shrapnel everywhere. It was unbelievable. I always talk about getting in on the hands means getting into the kitchen, but Dallas Keuchel got in the basement of Mike Zunino.
Ball 4 off the glove of Stassi. Take another look at that Zunino second at bat.
This is incredible. This is not a full swing. That was absolute destruction.
If they would have checked it first, it would have been a no swing, except for the barrel went through without the hands.
It's a great call. I still can't believe that happened. That was incredible.
Dallas picks up a walk, his first. And now here's D. Gordon. D takes a called strike. Brad Peacock's been warming in the Astros bullpen. Dallas is over 100 pitches at this point. Gordon just coming back recently from the DL. He was on there for 10 days with a fractured toe.
Quick healer.
Yeah. Slight fracture on from May 22nd through the last day of May. Mentioned not a prototypical leadoff hitter, just 4 walks this year, 206 at bats. He's got a 2-1 count here. It's the lowest walk percentage in all of baseball. Usually aggressive, usually pretty good putting the ball in play. Now he's got a count of 3-1.
He would be an incredibly hard guy to double up too. He'd have to take a one-hop rocket right at somebody to turn a double play on D. Gordon. He floats.
Trying to hold up, and that could be his 5th walk of the year. Nope. Come on back, D. Tried to check his swing. The pitch was out of the zone. And instead it's a full count.
He may be shaking his head, but judging by the numbers and the attempt to try and hit that pitch, he doesn't want to walk. Borderline.
Gave Scott Berry an opportunity. That was a tweener. 3-2 pitch slowly hit towards first. Yuli will take it himself as he beats Gordon to the bag. On the play, Zunino goes to second. A.J. Hinch pops out of the dugout. Dallas Keuchel facing D. Gordon as the final batter of the night. Brad Peacock will come on to face Gene Segura. Well, the pitching change here in the top half of the 7th with the Mariners leading 7-1.
Are available, including McCullers, Peacock, and Morton. Visit Astros.com/team store for hours and location information. TK.
All right, Julia. 7-1 game. Dallas Keuchel, if nothing else, did a good job getting this deep into the game, especially after allowing 6 runs the first time through the lineup. And he ends up carrying this game 6 2/3 innings, and he'll turn it over to Brad Peacock.
Brad Peacock had an inning against Boston back on the 1st of June. He had 3 strikeouts in that inning, throwing 15 pitches in 22 games. That whip right around 1 and that ERA under 3 at 2.78.
Peacock will face Gene Segura, Mitch Haniger, and Nelson Cruz. And Peacock starts him off with a slider for a strike. It's 0-1. Segura hit a home run, a solo shot, way up beyond the Crawford boxes his last time up, his 5th home run of the year. Towards Altuve. Peacock able to get the final out of the inning as Altuve makes the play. 7th inning stretch time at Minute Maid Park. The Seattle Mariners lead the Astros 7-1.
watch. Evan Gaddis splits this season early on. Not going very well as far as average. May and June, getting that average up to 250. But the production is what you want to see, and Evan Gaddis has provided that. 7 home runs, 18 RBI in that May-June combination. Still here early in June. But he is getting back to the old Evan Gaddis ways. So good that some players are treating him like a tree trunk.
It's good to be the tree. Here's Gaddis leading things off, bottom half of the 7th inning in the 7-1 game. It is a Twitter Tuesday. We've asked you tonight who your favorite Astros draft pick is. Evan was a 23rd round pick by the Atlanta Braves. It'll be Gaddis, Marwin Gonzalez, and Max Stassi. Seeing a lot of tweets from players, some drafted high, some not drafted at all, of encouragement from different major league players. I know Kevin Pillar was one of them, to athletes who are not selected in the first 10 rounds or even selected tomorrow, because there's a lot of major leaguers that were undrafted free agents. Gaddis waited until the 23rd round, which is, you're having to make some steps along the way. Roy Oswalt was also a 23rd round pick.
Then he decided to fix his truck and turned into an ace. No, there are great stories, and you don't know. I mean, scouts can go out there and do the best job that they can, but there's still going to be guys, when you have that many teams with that many opportunities, for these guys to figure it out, mature, whatever it may be, develop a new swing, get with the right coaches. Who knows? But it's all about confidence and opportunity, and some of these guys find it a little bit later than some other ones.
Granted, if you are a 1st through 3rd or 4th round pick, you might have a few more opportunities if you struggle earlier in your career than a 23rd round pick. But the bottom line is, you just have to make your way and keep advancing through levels.
Yeah, much like some of those later round guys have to work a little bit harder to get to the big leagues. Some of those guys in the top portion of the draft work a little bit harder to get out of the big leagues.
Well put.
Or to get out from not even making it to the big leagues.
Gaddis a couple of high fly balls to left in this game, and now he strikes out. Paxton now with 5 strikeouts. He came in with 95, so that adds him to the century mark in terms of strikeouts on the season.
Seeing some fastballs late and thrown quite firm, 98 miles an hour from James. But there's some great stories on this Astros team alone. Not only is Evan Gaddis a 23rd round pick, he's got a World Series ring. And oh, by the way, that guy at second base, Jose Altuve, he was undrafted, and he got kicked out of a camp. He had to fight his way back into just going to a tryout camp.
Yeah, 2nd tryout camp day. And if his dad didn't talk him into going back, who knows if we would have ever heard of Jose Altuve. I mean, he's got so much talent. You'd like to think at some point he makes it, but tryout camp number 1, they sent him home saying thanks but no thanks. 0-1 pitch. Marwin has himself 3/4 of the cycle. Started out with a double, followed it up with a triple. Now he has the single, and he's a 1-out base runner in the 7th.
Benefiting from a little bit of time off. But that right-handed swing is looking pretty good today. 3 knocks against a guy who doesn't give up many hits, period.
That's the most hits allowed by Paxton in a start this year. Marwin just needs a home run. Could very well see another at bat as we have just 1 out in the 7th. And Stassi takes 1 down and in for a ball. Stassi's come up with runners on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, and then Marwin after the triple with 2 outs. So far he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Stassi fouls 1 away. It's 1-1. Astros night game tonight, night game tomorrow. Late arrival into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Taking on the Rangers for 4 beginning on Thursday. They will head to Oakland with an off day on Monday and then on to Kansas City. Ground ball through the middle. Right there is D. Gordon. The Astros have hit into another inning-ending double play. They have done that in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. 7-1 headed to the 8th. commemorative brick program. With the Astros' new brick program, fans have the option to customize a brick with a personal message that will line Champions Walkway at Minute Maid Park. For more details and info, visit astros.com/bricks today. On we go to the 8th. Brad Peacock came on for the final out of the 7th inning. Needed just 2 pitches to get Gene Segura. Now he'll face the 3, 4, 5 hitters, Mitch Haniger, Nelson Cruz, and Kyle Seager. Astros down 7-1. Mariners jumped them for 4 in the first and followed up with 2 more in the second. Haniger is 0 for 3 tonight. He is now 2 for 16 in his career against Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel lasted 6 2/3 innings. 7 hits, 7 runs. Walked 1, struck out 3, and the 3 home runs allowed tonight by Dallas matched his career high. But as one game blends to the next, and we saw this on that last road trip with a 14-inning game in Cleveland, Astros unable to close out a 5-run lead, really taxed the bullpen heading to Yankee Stadium. And then Colin McHugh doing a great job out of the bullpen the last game in Yankee Stadium, setting up the bullpen for better things against the Red Sox. And tonight, if Dallas goes 3 or 4, even 5 innings, all of a sudden you're using 2 or 3 more innings, maybe 4 more innings out of your bullpen. No off days again until Monday, so that can go a long way into this mini 2-game series and the 4-game set in Texas. Haniger goes down swinging. Peacock gets the fastball by him.
Time now to name that Astro. It's brought to you by Nissan. Gave you a couple of clues. 2nd round pick in '85, defining trades, high percentage. Who is it? The big unit, drafted by the Expos back in 1985, traded by Montreal to Seattle for Mark Langston and to Houston. From Seattle, received 97.3% of the votes to get into the Hall.
We never had time to finish your story. You were drafted by the Expos.
Yeah, and I didn't even have a pager.
So Stoneman's numbers, your mom hands you Bill Stoneman's number. You call him and you say, "What's next?" Yeah,
I said, "What's next?" I said, "I'm ready." My agent at the time negotiated a pretty good contract for me at the time. And I agreed to terms, and literally the next day the local scout showed up in my living room, had a contract and a plane ticket, and it was off to Burlington, Vermont about 2 days later. And that's kind of the part that shocked my mom a little bit and my parents.
That you were out there.
Yeah, it was like, wow, you're going to be you're going to the professional baseball league or whatever. You know, she had no idea what it was. And I'm going to the minor leagues, and immediately I'm like, signed the contract, and gave my mom a hug and packed my bags, and I was going to Burlington, Vermont, a city I had no idea even existed until I landed in it. And it's home to the University of Vermont.
Yep.
We had great accommodations, played at Centennial Field my first year, and battled my way for 4.5 years until I made it to the big leagues with the Expos in 1999.
Ball off the scoreboard wall, barehanded by Marwin, and Cruz is going to be stuck, although Altuve couldn't quite find the handle. Marwin made a great throw, and Altuve was trying to hurry to get that throw off to Yuli. They would have had Cruz. Instead, he's on first base with a 1-out ringing single off the scoreboard and left.
Yeah, that ball was hit well. Center cut fastball. Nelson Cruz gets it. He knows that it's not high enough to get over that Crawford box. Marwin has been doing a good job of playing that wall on a good hop, and I think Altuve knew he had a chance to get Nelson Cruz and just got a little too quick. Otherwise, I think they would have had Nelson Cruz easy.
Really nice play by Marwin in the midst of this 7-1 deficit. Marwin having himself quite a game. Here's Kyle Seager. Seager takes a called strike. So then your mom has the quick realization, we're not going to see our son until September or October.
Yeah, he's going to disappear for a while. And you know what's crazy about that is I played a full college season, signed, go play a short season A ball in the New York Penn League, and immediately agreed to go play in the Australian Winter Baseball League.
Wow.
And then turned around. That was a 3-month league. So, I mean, you talk about being indoctrinated into professional baseball.
You had like 1,000 at-bats in 1 year.
Literally.
Holy smokes.
And I went to instructional ball at the end of the Vermont season to stay to quote unquote stay in shape. I was weighing about $150, I felt like at the time. And then they shipped me off to Australia for 3 months, come back, spring training starts immediately, and I'm into another season in the Florida State League, no less.
All right, so I'm thinking, and obviously things have changed, but I'm thinking coming off a college season, the Expos would have thought you had plenty of at-bats. Was there something specifically they wanted from Australia? Just more work.
ABs, more work,
ABs.
more experience. And you know what? It's interesting you say that, because you know what? I think a lot of, well, at least this was the case back when we were coming up. It's not so much the case anymore, because these guys are on the fast track getting up here. And it was a number of ABs. There was a certain amount of innings they wanted guys to pitch. There was a certain amount of at-bats they wanted guys to have before they got to the big leagues. And the way I looked at it, I said the more ABs I get, the more opportunity I'm going to have to either impress somebody or make an adjustment. So I took full advantage of it.
Strikeout of Seager as Brad Peacock has a couple of strikeouts in the inning, now facing Ryan Healy. A little soft comebacker. Peacock gives way to Stassi. Stassi makes the play. A little miscommunication, but it all worked out in the long run. Peacock goes an inning and a third so far, has allowed the one single. We head to the bottom of the eighth.
Download the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or go to attsportsnet.com to stream from your computer. Log in with your cable account information and you're all set. Available to customers whose TV subscription includes AT&T Sportsnet, subject to blackouts. Territorial restrictions apply. Hey guys.
Yes.
Josh Reddick?
Yes.
He could be back as early as tomorrow. You know, they're missing their outfielder. He's been on the DL, hasn't played since May 20th, had the staph infection. He has been with the Corpus Christi Hooks tonight, DHing already. Well, so far tonight, single and an RBI double. And we're just trying to get him as many ABs as possible. And then they were going to discuss tonight after the game whether he's coming back or sticking around for a couple of games. But walk-up song in Corpus?
Yeah.
Careless Whisper.
No. Wanna Be by the Spice Girls.
No way.
Of course.
Yeah. Wonder if he'll bring that back with him. It worked tonight.
Hey, I was
couple
saying,
hits.
don't kid yourself. If it's got hits in it, they may try it.
I can tell you by looking at Twitter and the Corpus Christi Hooks account, they do a great job, is that the fans there are loving him at Whataburger Field. So he is putting on a show. He's signing autographs. I'm sure the spread's going to be great after the game. They're enjoying their time with Josh down there. But we want him back up here.
I can hear the woos from Corpus.
Absolutely. He actually sent out a tweet earlier today.
Yeah.
He was trying to figure out if he should go play for the Corpus Christi Hooks or go to WrestleMania.
That's probably a really tough decision.
Yeah, he probably sat down and had to think about that for a while.
I'm going to guess the Astros had some input.
Possibly.
He may still be able to see part of that.
There we go.
The SmackDown tonight, I mean, it's going to go deep into the night.
He might have time. Get the helicopter.
Hey, some guys end up catching the spread for his teammates. He may end up buying the pay-per-view SmackDown. find out.
It's too bad he didn't have Mark Burley pitching in that game.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's been Burley-esque here with Paxton tonight.
No doubt.
He has thrown just 37 pitches the last 4 innings. He did 8 in the 4th, 6 in the 6th, 10 more in the 7th. Doesn't hurt when you have double plays turned behind you also, and that's happened the last 3 innings against the Astros. Marisnik bats here with a count of 1-2. Paxton sitting at 98 pitches right now. So takes one upstairs. It's 2-2. Paxton has pitched 2 complete games this season, 1 in Toronto, obviously, the no-hitter. And then 2 starts after that. Went 9 innings of 2-run baseball back at Safeco Field. The Big Maples return after the no-hitter back to Seattle. Pitched to CG against the Tigers. 10th pitch of this at-bat. Jake adding to that pitch count here with a 3-2 count. And he goes down swinging. A couple of strikeouts for Jake, and that's 6 overall for James Paxton. Mentioned he joined the Century Club in strikeouts that last inning. He's now up to 101. A couple of Astros on that list in the American League. Garrett Cole pacing the American League with 116 strikeouts. Chris Sale second with 110. Justin Verlander third at 104. And then Luis Severino at 102. Paxton now with 101. Sounds like 5 pretty good names for AJ Hinch in the All-Star game if he wants it. There are 1 and 3 and strikeouts right there as George sends one to center field. Heredia back in front of the track. Makes the play for out number 2.
Got an update
on
Josh Reddick.
What?
Got his 3rd hit of the night.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's 3 for 4 with an RBI.
Uh-oh. We're gonna have to hear Spice Girls when he comes back.
Oh yeah, you better get ready.
Bring it. He's good about his walk-up music.
Yeah, he's not afraid either.
No.
Well, I mean, Careless Whisper, he set kind of the bar for not caring. Because that's way out there.
Hence the Careless Whisper.
Ooh.
Do you think he ordered a robe for a player of the game in Corpus? Do you think he took some down there? Yeah, it stumped you guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Because there's a good chance he might.
I'm guessing there's no robes at the hotel where Corpus is staying. so if he has a robe for the winter, it has to be imported from his own personal collection. But knowing Josh, you never know.
You really don't. I wonder if he asked for a pinch runner so he could make it to the SmackDown down there in Corpus.
If he got a pinch runner, we know where he's going.
Yeah, exactly.
In full uni.
That might have been the only way the Astros enticed him to go on the rehab assignment. Look, you got to go down there, play a couple of games. We'll get you some tickets to SmackDown. Just give us some ABs.
And he's hitting early in the count, right? So he can jump.
Oh,
out.
he's raking, yeah.
No, but I mean like 1 or 2 or something.
Oh, yeah, he's DHing. Second hole.
Second hole? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's up there.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
So he got his four plate appearances. He's ready.
Yeah, he probably waved, hey, pinch runner, got to go.
Got to go. SmackDown. Here's Altuve.
He just laid down the SmackDown. Poor kid's in Double-A. He's breaking egos.
Well, 8 hits for the Astros tonight. Nothing else. That's a big number against the guy coming in with a 190 batting average against. Blummer.
Oh, man.
Vermont Expos.
It's not Thursday. Yeah, that's old school right there. Just stare off into the distance while I take this picture, kid.
That was in the midst of your 1,000 at-bat season. Hey, Altuve single to center field. 9 hits allowed now by Paxton, who'd allowed no more than 6 in any start this year. And Juan Nicasio's been warming up. You wonder how much longer Scott Service will wait. In fact, he's not waiting any longer. Altuve now 2 for 4 with back-to-back hits his last 2 at-bats. James Paxton's night is through, you would think, at 108 pitches. Well, the official sign hasn't been made. Now it has, and Paxton will be out. So he'll leave with a 7-1 lead. He is responsible for the 2 runners on. We'll tell you about the new Mariners reliever when we come back. now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Astros are represented on this year's squad by voting at astros.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game, presented by MasterCard, July 17th, live on Fox. Paxton goes 7 2/3 innings. So far, he's allowed 1 run. He's responsible for Bregman and Altuve on base. Season high 9 hits allowed. And he turns things over to the Mariners bullpen and Juan Nicasio.
Juan Nicasio making that 29th appearance, 28 1/3 innings pitched. He's got himself 14 holds, which is tied for second in the major leagues. 37 strikeouts in those 28 1/3. He is a fastball, changeup, and a slider guy. He is primarily fastball slider to those right-handed hitters. Fastball at 65% of the time, the slider at 35%.
Well, if the Astros have any hopes of coming back, this would be a big place for it to start. 2 on, 2 outs. Carlos Correa leading the team with 39 runs batted in. Correa has not faced Nicasio in a regular season game before. 1 for 3 tonight is Correa. First pitch, ground ball to Seager, couple of hops, and the throw made in time. 1 pitch, and Nicasio gets through the 8th inning. We head to the 9th, still 7-1 ends.
We have the results of today's Chevy Strokel. Thanks for voting. Remember to follow us at ATT Sportsnet SW. We asked, what is the better dugout staple? Bubblegum or sunflower seeds? Looks like sunflower seeds is the winner today. By a lot.
2/3.
Can't go wrong.
Hey, we were opposite. We were 2 gums and 1 seed.
Yep, true ball player.
You are on the winning end today, Blummer.
Yes.
So lots of flavors.
Oh, they've got so many different flavors now. It's unbelievable.
Back then, you just had the 1 choice.
Yeah, limited choices back in the day.
Here's Joe Smith in the 9th.
Much like my cell phone options. Joe on to get through this 9th. Had a good outing against Boston, went 2/3 of an inning. Only allowed 1 walk, but relatively unscathed through 10 pitches.
You said your daughters have a hard time believing you didn't have a cell phone at age 18.
Yeah.
Do you have any of the old ones and show them?
No, you know what?
Like a flip phone?
You
like
remember that thing called a Palm Pilot, or it was some kind of device that like held information.
Right.
It didn't do much else.
You still have one of those?
Yeah, it had like the keyboard on it. Kind of reminds me of your BlackBerry.
Thank you. Trying to become the last person in America with a BlackBerry.
I'm just glad yours doesn't flip open anymore. Yeah, but we pulled out a couple of them, and there's actually, with Google these days, you can Google a picture of it, And people actually have, photos of those early Nokias next to, current cell phones. And I mean, it's just, they start laughing at us.
Oh, yeah.
It was comical how big these tanks were that you had to make a phone call on.
Yes, I have 2 phones, one of them being, I'm still not going away from the BlackBerry, trying to become the last person.
You are holding on for dear life.
I am.
How do they even offer coverage on that?
There's a very small percentage of us remaining in the United States.
I mean, that is your iPad is smaller than that.
Than the BlackBerry?
Yeah.
It's got a nice wide screen. Right here, I've got it.
And it's that new touch keyboard, huh?
Yeah, whatever you need to do.
I mean, seriously.
Messages are
What's
here.
your electric bill after trying to charge that thing? That's unbelievable. People at home could read that. Are you a double thumber?
This is why I have it. This is why I have it. Swing and a miss by Smith as he gets Guillermo Heredia swinging. I have it simply because of the QWERTY keyboard. I can't get away from this.
Yeah.
I don't like.
It's amazing.
I don't like punching in on the screen and then
You don't
messing
like
up.
guessing?
No, it's right here. Right here.
Barely notice it.
The textile.
You're a real tactile guy.
I am. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Seriously, how do you get apps on that thing?
Black. Oh, I got everything. You name it, I got it. I'll tell you this.
You got Fortnite?
I was very close.
Can you play Fortnite?
I haven't tried, but yes. I'm going to say yes. I was very close to wrapping up my career with the BlackBerry until they came up with a newer model lately.
Oh, yeah?
And,
did it have the updated version of Pong?
yeah, it's got Pong on there. And then because the Uber app wasn't working well in the last BlackBerry, a couple things weren't working well.
Like I wonder why that is.
Right? But now they're good.
That's a whole different platform.
Now they're good. They got all the Android apps that you want. I'm good. I'm back in the game.
Do you have like a hard drive you have to plug into that to make that work?
But the consolation to my lovely bride was that I would get an iPhone in addition to a BlackBerry just because.
Just for show.
So I have to. Well, no, just because she didn't. She felt like I needed an iPhone.
Yeah. So which one do I text you that you don't respond on?
Probably both. 2 and 1 to count the gamble.
So when we send out that group text to everybody on the broadcast crew, you said you don't know.
I did run into an issue last trip. You're right.
You said you could only send like single messages back on the BlackBerry, but you can group message on the iPhone.
I had a little group issue with the text. Yeah, not too long ago. We're getting there. There's a very few but proud owners of BlackBerries from now on, and I happen to be one of them.
Oh, yeah. Twitter's going to have a heyday with that one.
Yeah, and my wife is just hoping that nobody's watching the broadcast at this point. 2 and 2 the count to Ben Gamble. Joe Smith already has a strikeout. Gamble sends one. Ooh, nice play by the dugout in Seattle. Sent one off the screen, and the guy made a backhand stab off the screen.
They're doing everything right tonight.
Someone's paying attention in that dugout. Smith's been on a good little run here for the Astros. Count of 2 and 2 with 1 out on Gamble. And he gets another strikeout. Joe coming in with 9 consecutive. Check that, 9 scoreless appearances in his last 10. And he's pitching probably the best we've seen consistently all year long right now.
Missed his spot, but still creating enough movement to get the swing and miss. Pretty good stuff, and you're right. Joe Smith is typically a guy in the history of his career has been one you can count on later in innings. Creates a unique arm angle with that 3/4 delivery and that arm side run, a little bit of a frisbee slider.
Here's Mike Zunino taking a called strike. Brad Peacock pitched an inning and a third, allowed a base hit, struck out 2. Smith has struck out both Guillermo Heredia and Ben Gamble, now ahead of Zunino 0-1. Here's a pop-up. Yuli Gurriel will have a play in foul territory and makes it for the final out. When we come back, Marwin Gonzalez due up third, needs a home run to hit for the cycle. Is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by T-Mobile. Show your military appreciation and use hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. Marwin Gonzalez there, triple, double, home, a single needs the home run. Trey Perez saying, I'm not hating, I really wish I still had my BlackBerry.
Come on.
Most people are killing me on Twitter, so I appreciate the support. Oh, another one.
Are you serious?
So there's two, but most are just crushing me, rightfully so.
There you go.
I'm a loyal dog, though. I'm a loyal dog. I like what I like.
Jen, I tried.
I hold on to it for as long as I can.
You're the primary stockholder in BlackBerry. That's pretty extreme.
We go to the bottom of the ninth. It is 7-1. That's why we're talking about BlackBerries at this point. Yuli Gurriel facing the new pitcher, Chasen Bradford, and Yuli gets into one, but pops it too high in the air, which allows Mitch Haniger to drift under it for the first out.
Some of the standards on Chasen Bradford in 19 games. Pretty good record at 4-0. 0 runs allowed in his last 6 appearances. Marwin Gonzalez would like to change that if a runner gets on and help out the Astros put a couple more runs on the board, but a nice ERA at 1.99.
Mariners bullpen has been very good this year. One of the reasons why they come into this game leading the Astros by a game, and Astros in danger of falling 2 back down 7-1 with 2 outs to work with as Evan Gattis bats. Takes a pitch outside for a ball. Astros have been in first place most of the year. The furthest back they have been is 3.5 games. A flip phone. That's a whole nother game.
Nothing screams burner account like a flip phone.
Outside is 2-0. You still reading all of them?
They just keep coming. It's so good.
2 flyouts to left and a strikeout for Evan Gattis. Yeah, my iPhone was purchased here in Houston, so that's a 713. But BlackBerry's still going back to my roots in Florida as the 727 number. So wherever you text to, that's how you'll be able to tell which phone I'm on.
Still trying to figure that out.
Well, I do have some issues occasionally, but it's more user error than it is BlackBerry error. 2-1 the count. We have a possible cycle blummer. We've got Brandon Barnes, the last one to hit a cycle. Marwin's sitting on deck patiently. He's got double his first time up, triple his second time up, single his third time up. He's never faced Chasen Bradford before. And he's got a shot, if he gets the home run, to be the first player since 2013.
Even more interesting just because this last AB will be the only left-handed AB he's going to have in this ball game. The first 4 or the first 3 going against James Paxton.
Evan gets into one. Herrera at the wall. Astros have hit 2 to the wall in center field. Bregman and now Gattis. Bregman was even more on a line. And now there's 2 outs. And here we go in a 7-1 game. It's about the last drama remaining tonight.
Is that you filming on your BlackBerry? Pretty cool attachment.
A little beta cam action.
So what's your MySpace name?
Marwin does have all of his home runs, 4 of them hitting as a left-hand hitter. Career cycles: Cesar Cedeno 2, Bob Watson, Andujar Cedeno, Baggy, Bish, Luke Scott, and Brandon Barnes. Barnes' last cycle happened on July 19th of 2013. 2-0. Might get a pitch to drive.
7-1 ball game, 2-0 count. Good chance to sit on that fastball, and if he gets it, we know Marwin can rake that fastball. It'd be good to see him get a hold of one and give us a little bit of a highlight here on a rough evening. Ooh.
Pretty good swing there.
Yes, it was. There was intent behind that.
Astros down to their final out. They put up a season high 9 hits against James Paxton tonight. But couldn't score more than 1 run. Paxton was helped out by 3 inning-ending double plays in 3 consecutive innings, 5th, 6th, and 7th. On the ground, first baseman Ryan Healy takes it himself, and this game belongs to the Mariners. Seattle taking a 2-game lead in the AL West. They jumped out 6-0 in this game and would cruise to an opening 7-1 victory. Mariners improve on the season. They are now 38-22 and 2 games better than your Houston Astros. We'll have a lot more coming up, including the post-game show right after this.
Yeah, boys. Yeah, boys.